Ladies, I want you to hear me today. You are not just any woman. You are a chosen woman. You are called by God, set apart for a divine purpose. But with this calling often comes a journey that many don't understand. You see, the higher the calling, the deeper the challenges. The greater the anointing, the stronger the trials. Have you ever wondered why, despite your faithfulness, why, despite your love and commitment, your heart has been broken? Today, I want to help you understand that your pain is not a sign of a woman who is chosen by God, does not walk the same path as everyone else. Her journey is different, her struggles are different, and her experiences are often misunderstood. While others seem to move effortlessly through relationships, friendships, and social circles, she often finds herself standing alone, wondering why she does not fit in. This is not a mistake, nor is it a curse. It is the evidence of a divine calling, a sign that God has set her apart for something greater than the ordinary. From a young age, a chosen woman may feel that she does not fully belong in the places where others seem comfortable. She may try to connect, to blend in, to walk the same road as those around her, but something inside her resists. She does not find peace in what others embrace. She does not find joy in what others celebrate. The relationships that seem to flourish for others do not seem to last for her. The friendships that should be effortless often feel forced. This is because a woman of divine purpose cannot build her life on the same foundation as those who are called to a different destiny. What satisfies others will not satisfy her. The relationships that are easy for others may be distractions for her. She may watch people enter into relationships quickly, move into seasons of companionship without struggle, yet for her, everything seems to take longer. Doors that open easily for others seem to remain shut before her. This difference is not a punishment, it is a form of divine preservation. When God chooses a woman, He does not allow her to settle. He does not allow her to waste time in places where she does not belong. He does not allow her to remain in relationships that do not align with her destiny. The struggle she faces in finding companionship is not because she is unworthy, it is because she is being protected. A chosen woman cannot afford to attach herself to just anyone. She cannot afford to invest her heart in people who will lead her away from her purpose. And any relationship that does not align with that purpose will be removed, no matter how much she desires it. At times, this separation can be painful. It can feel like rejection. It can feel like loneliness. She may wonder if something is wrong with her, if she is the reason relationships do not work, if she is destined to walk alone forever. But this is not rejection. It is refinement. God is shaping her, molding her, and ensuring that nothing and no one takes her off course. Many times, the chosen woman will watch people around her settle into relationships, even those who do not seek God the way she does. She will see others enter companionships that seem to thrive while she remains alone. It will be tempting to question why. It will be tempting to wonder if she should lower her standards, if she should accept something less than what she knows she deserves. But the moment she does, she will feel the weight of compromise. She will feel the discomfort of walking a road that was never meant for her. God has called His chosen women to be different, and with that calling comes a different path. It is not an easy path. It requires patience, trust, and a willingness to wait. It requires faith in seasons of isolation, endurance in moments of disappointment, and a heart that refuses to settle for anything less than what God has promised. This journey is not meant to be a struggle without reward. In time, God will align the right people, the right relationships, and the right opportunities in her life. But before that happens, she must walk the path He has set before her, trusting that the loneliness she faces today is shaping her for the purpose she will fulfill tomorrow. By taking a loneliness is not a curse, nor is it a sign that something is wrong. It is often a divine strategy, a process by which God preserves those He has chosen for a higher purpose. When a woman finds herself alone despite her prayers, despite her efforts, despite her desire for companionship, she must understand that she is not being abandoned, she is being set apart. There are seasons when God will remove people from her life, not because they are necessarily bad, but because they are not meant to walk with her into the next phase of her destiny. She may feel the sting of separation, the weight of solitude, and the burden of watching others find relationships while she remains alone. But what she sees as rejection is often protection. What she perceives as delay is actually divine preservation. God isolates before he elevates. Before he brings his chosen woman into the fullness of her calling, he must first separate her from anything and anyone that could contaminate her destiny. Relationships built outside of his will can become distractions, and distractions can delay purpose. He knows that the wrong person in her life can shift her focus, weaken her faith, and lead her into places she was never meant to be. So, he allows loneliness to guard her. In moments of solitude, she may wrestle with questions. Why am I alone? Why does it seem like love comes easily for others but not for me? What am I doing wrong? The answer is not in what she is lacking, but in what she is carrying. A woman of destiny cannot walk the same road as everyone else. She carries something different, something rare, something precious, and because of that, she requires a different level of preparation. There are many things that can be taught in community, but there are certain lessons that can only be learned in isolation. It is in solitude that God sharpens her discernment, deepens her faith, and strengthens her spirit. It is in the quiet moments that he reveals things to her that she would not have heard in the noise of a crowded life. Loneliness becomes a classroom where he teaches her how to depend on him fully, how to hear his voice clearly, how to walk in confidence even when no one is beside her. When a woman is preserved by God, he does not allow her to settle for relationships that drain her. He does not allow her to invest in people who only take from her but never pour back into her. He removes those who are attached to her out of convenience but not out of purpose. This removal is painful, but it is necessary, because what she loses in loneliness is nothing compared to what she gains in alignment. Many times, the greatest damage in a woman's life does not come from storms or struggles, but from being connected to the wrong people. She may believe she is lonely because no one is available, but in truth, she is lonely because God is making space for the right relationships. He does not allow her to waste time on temporary people when she is called to an eternal purpose. This season of loneliness is not forever, but it is for a reason. It is refining her. It is shaping her. It is making her into the woman she is destined to be. When the right time comes, the relationships that enter her life will not be burdens. They will be blessings. The people who come will not distract her from God's plan. They will complement it. But until then, she must trust that her solitude is not a punishment, it is a preparation. Heartbreak is one of the most painful experiences a person can endure, but for a chosen woman, it serves a greater purpose. It is not just an emotional wound, it is a divine process of separation, refinement, and revelation. When a woman experiences heartbreak, she often questions why God allowed it to happen. She wonders if she could have done something differently, if she was not enough, or if she is destined to remain broken. But what she does not realize in that moment is that heartbreak is not a sign of her failure, it is a sign of God's protection. God does not waste pain. He allows heartbreak to remove what is not aligned with his will. A woman may enter a relationship thinking it is the one God has for her, only to find it falling apart. She may give her heart to someone who seemed right, but later discover they were never meant to stay. The pain of heartbreak is not just about losing someone. It is about God filtering out what does not belong in her destiny. When something is filtered, impurities are removed. The process is not always gentle, but it is necessary. A woman cannot see the dangers in a relationship the way God does. She may see love, but God sees distraction. And because he loves her too much to let her settle for less than his best, he allows the relationship to break. Heartbreak exposes what was hidden. It reveals things that could not be seen when emotions were strong. It shows the true nature of people, the weaknesses in connections, and the flaws in foundations. Many women would have remained in relationships that were unhealthy if not for heartbreak. The pain forces them to step back and recognize what they were blind to before. A chosen woman does not go through heartbreak the same way others do. For her, it is not just about emotional recovery, it is about spiritual growth. God uses the experience to teach her discernment, to strengthen her identity, and to draw her closer to him. He does not allow her to move forward carrying wounds that would damage her future relationships. Instead, he uses the heartbreak to heal her from attachments that were never meant to last. Sometimes a woman tries to hold on to what God is trying to remove. She prays for restoration, hoping that what she lost will return. But what she sees as a loss, God sees as a rescue. If he allowed that relationship to break, it is because he knew it would break her purpose. He knew it would hinder the calling on her life. He knew it would take her in the wrong direction. Heartbreak is painful, but it is not permanent. It is a temporary season that serves an eternal purpose. It refines a woman's heart, deepens her faith, and prepares her for the kind of love that aligns with her destiny. Without the filter of heartbreak, she might accept relationships that drain her, partnerships that delay her, and connections that weaken her. But through this process, she learns what real love looks like. She learns to trust God more than her own desires. What she thought was rejection was actually redirection. What she saw as the end of something was really the beginning of something greater. Heartbreak is not the end of love, it is the preparation for the right kind of love. And when God finally brings the right person into her life, she will see that every tear, every disappointment, and every moment of pain was not wasted. It was all part of his divine plan. Heartbreak is never easy. It leaves wounds that feel deep, questions that seem unanswerable, and emotions that seem overwhelming. A woman who has given her heart, trusted and believed in love only to have it shattered, may find herself wondering why God allowed her to go through such pain. She may replay every moment, searching for what she did wrong, what she could have done differently, or why things had to end the way they did. But what she may not yet see is that God, in his infinite wisdom, sometimes allows heartbreak not as a punishment, but as a form of divine protection. Love is powerful, but when given to the wrong person, it can also be dangerous. A woman's heart is one of the most valuable things she possesses. It is where her dreams, her faith, and her deepest affections reside. When she gives it away, she is entrusting someone with a sacred part of herself. But not everyone is meant to carry that responsibility. Not everyone who enters her life is equipped to love her the way God intends. And because she may not always recognize this, God steps in. Many times a woman prays for love. She asks God to send her someone who will cherish her, honor her, and walk beside her in purpose. But what she does not always see is that the person she is holding onto may not be able to love her in the way she needs. She may feel attached, emotionally invested, and hopeful about the relationship, but God sees beyond the present moment. He sees the future, the hidden struggles, the unseen consequences. And when he knows that the relationship will cause her more harm than good, he allows it to break. At first it may seem cruel. It may feel like betrayal. She may not understand why God would allow something that felt so right to end so painfully. But heartbreak is not the work of a careless God. It is the hand of a loving Father. Just as a parent pulls a child away from danger even when the child does not see the threat, God removes relationships that would hinder his plans. He sees what she cannot. He knows what she does not. And his love is too great to let her settle for anything less than what he has prepared for her. There are times when a woman fights for a relationship that God is trying to remove. She may hold on to memories, to promises, to potential. She may convince herself that things will change, that she can fix what is broken, that if she just prays harder, loves deeper, or sacrifices more, the relationship will work. But what she must realize is that anything she has to force is not from God. True love, the kind that is meant for her, will not require her to beg, to suffer, or to compromise who she is. Heartbreak protects her from the pain she cannot yet see. It shields her from the wrong marriage, the wrong commitments, and the wrong distractions. It clears the way for the person God has truly chosen for her, the one who will honor her heart, nurture her spirit, and align with her purpose. Until that time comes, she must trust that her brokenness is not wasted. Every tear, every unanswered question, and every lonely night is part of a greater plan. One day, she will look back and thank God for the heartbreak she once resented. She will see that what she thought was loss was actually gain. That what she thought was rejection was protection. And that what she thought was the end was only the beginning of something far greater than she ever imagined. A woman chosen by God is not like everyone else. She carries a unique calling, a divine assignment that sets her apart. But with that calling comes battles that others may never face. She may wonder why her life seems harder, why she experiences more resistance, more pain, and more challenges than those around her. It is because she is not ordinary. She is marked, anointed, and destined for something greater. And anything with great purpose will always attract great opposition. From the moment she decides to walk in obedience to God, she steps onto a battlefield. The enemy does not waste time attacking those who are not a threat, but a chosen woman is dangerous to the kingdom of darkness. Her prayers carry power, her presence shifts atmospheres, and her influence brings light into dark places. The enemy knows that if she fully steps into who God has called her to be, she will destroy his plans, so he fights her early, often, and in ways she never expected. Many of her battles will come in the form of delays, distractions, and disappointments. She will find that the things she prays for take longer than expected. While others seem to step into relationships, opportunities, and breakthroughs easily, she often faces closed doors and long seasons of waiting. It is not because she is forgotten, it is because she is being refined. God does not give his chosen women ordinary blessings, he gives them extraordinary ones. But extraordinary blessings require extraordinary preparation. She will also experience deeper emotional struggles. Loneliness, rejection, and heartbreak often follow her path. Not because she is unworthy of love, but because God is protecting her heart. He will not allow her to attach to people who cannot handle her calling. He will remove relationships that would weaken her purpose, and sometimes that removal is painful. The friendship she thought would last forever will fade. The love she thought was meant to be will end. She may cry, she may grieve, but she must understand that God is making room for something better. One of the greatest battles a chosen woman faces is the battle of identity. The enemy will attack her confidence, her self-worth, and her ability to believe in herself. He will try to convince her that she is not enough, that she is too broken, too flawed, too unworthy to walk in God's calling. He will use people's opinions, past mistakes, and even her own fears against her. But she must remember that she is who God says she is. Her worth is not determined by her struggles, but by her Creator. The weight of her calling means she cannot take shortcuts. While others may compromise and still succeed, she cannot. While others may settle and still find comfort, she will not. The price of her destiny is higher, and the process of getting there is harder. But the reward is greater. What God has for her is beyond what she can imagine, and the trials she faces today are shaping her for the promise ahead. She must stand firm even when the battles seem relentless. She must keep moving forward even when she feels weary. She must trust that every hardship is making her stronger, wiser, and more prepared for what is coming. The battles she faces are not a sign that she is defeated. They are proof that she is destined for something powerful. And in the end, every struggle will make sense when she steps into the fullness of who she was always meant to be. Pain is not easy to endure, but it is necessary for growth. A woman who is chosen by God will go through seasons where nothing seems to make sense. She will experience moments of loss, disappointment, and isolation, wondering why she has to suffer while others seem to move through life effortlessly. It is during these times that she must remember that pain is not pointless. It is a tool in God's hands, shaping her into the woman she is destined to become. Growth does not happen in comfort. The strongest trees do not grow in soft, shallow soil, but in environments where their roots must push deep to find stability. In the same way, a woman's faith, strength, and character are developed in seasons of struggle. Without difficulty, there is no need for endurance. Without loss, there is no need for faith. Without testing, there is no need for trust. What she goes through is not meant to break her, it is meant to build her. When everything is going well, it is easy to rely on personal strength. It is in the moments of struggle, however, that she truly learns to lean on God. Pain strips away self-sufficiency and replaces it with dependence on Him. When she has nowhere else to turn, she discovers that God is enough. She learns that His strength is made perfect in her weakness. She realizes that even in her lowest moments, He is still present, still working, still leading her toward purpose. Every great woman of faith has walked through seasons of pain. The struggles she faces today are the same struggles that have refined those who came before her. Pain has a way of exposing what is weak, revealing what needs to be healed, and strengthening what is necessary for the journey ahead. It teaches resilience, deepens compassion, and molds character. Without it, she would not be prepared for the future God has planned for her. Pain also has a way of removing things that no longer serve her purpose. Some relationships will end not because she has done anything wrong, but because they cannot go where she is headed. Some doors will close not because she is unworthy, but because God has something better. Some plans will fail not because she lacks ability, but because God is redirecting her towards something greater. In the moment, it may feel like everything is falling apart, but in reality, everything is falling into place. There will be times when she feels exhausted, wondering if the struggle will ever end. She may question whether the pain is worth it, whether the process is necessary. But just like gold is refined by fire, so is she being refined through her trials. The fire does not destroy the gold, it purifies it. In the same way, her pain is not meant to destroy her. It is purifying her, preparing her, making her into something far greater than she could have imagined. When she emerges from this season, she will not be the same. She will be wiser, stronger, and more equipped for the purpose ahead. She will look back and realize that every tear, every struggle, and every moment of hardship played a role in her transformation. She will see that nothing was wasted, that every trial served a purpose. And when she finally steps into the blessings God has prepared for her, she will understand that the pain she once resented was the very thing that led her to her greatest growth. Rejection is one of the most painful experiences a woman can face. Whether it comes from relationships, opportunities, or people she once trusted, it leaves wounds that make her question her worth. She may wonder why she was not chosen, why she was overlooked, or why what she prayed for did not come to pass. But what she must understand is that rejection is not a sign of her failure. It is often a sign of God's protection and direction. What looks like rejection to her is actually divine selection. When God removes something or someone from her life, it is because they are not part of the future He has planned for her. She may not see it in the moment, but what she is crying over now is often what she will thank God for later. He sees what she cannot see. He knows what she does not know. And when He closes a door, it is because what is on the other side was never meant for her. Many times she prays for guidance, asking God to lead her into His perfect will. What she may not realize is that rejection is often the answer to that prayer. God does not just direct her steps by opening doors, He also directs her by closing them. If a relationship ends, if an opportunity disappears, or if people turn away, she must trust that their departure is part of God's plan. He is not taking something away to hurt her. He is making space for something better. Rejection is painful because it attacks the heart. It makes her feel unwanted, forgotten, or unworthy. But those are lies meant to shake her confidence. The truth is, she is not being rejected. She is being set apart. She is not unwanted. She is being prepared for something greater. The people who left could not handle the weight of her calling. The opportunities that fell through were too small for what God has in store. Sometimes, a woman tries to hold on to what God is trying to remove. She chases after people who do not value her. She fights for opportunities that were never meant to be hers, and she exhausts herself trying to prove her worth. But rejection is not an obstacle to overcome. It is a blessing to embrace. It is God saying, I have something better. The sooner she lets go of what was never meant for her, the sooner she can receive what is truly hers. She must remember that rejection is a divine filter. It removes what does not align with her destiny. It protects her from distractions. It saves her from relationships that would drain her. It prevents her from settling for less than she deserves. If she were accepted in every place she desired, she might miss the place God has chosen for her. If every relationship worked out, she might never meet the one God has ordained for her. Every great woman of faith has faced rejection. It is not a sign of weakness, it is a sign of preparation. Those who are chosen by God must be refined, tested, and set apart. The pain she feels today is shaping her into the woman she was always meant to be. And one day she will look back and see that every closed door, every goodbye, and every disappointment was not rejection at all. It was God's hand guiding her towards something far greater than she ever imagined. Waiting is never easy, especially when a woman knows she has been called to something greater. She prays, she prepares, she believes, yet nothing seems to be happening. The doors she thought would open remain closed. The answers she longs for are delayed, and the desires of her heart seem just out of reach. In those moments, doubt tries to creep in. She wonders if she is doing something wrong, if God has forgotten her, or if her prayers have gone unheard. But what she must remember is that God's timing is never wrong. Every delay has a purpose. Every waiting season is working for her good. There is a reason God does not always give immediate answers. If He opened certain doors too soon, she would not be ready to walk through them. If He gave her what she wanted before she was prepared, it could destroy her instead of bless her. A woman who is called to a high place cannot afford to take shortcuts. She cannot afford to step into something prematurely and risk losing what was meant to last. God loves her too much to allow her to settle for less than His perfect plan. Waiting is not wasted time, it is preparation. In the unseen places God is working. He is developing her character, strengthening her faith, and positioning her for the blessings ahead. She may not understand why things are taking so long, but He does. He sees what she cannot see. He knows what she does not know. And when the time is right, what He has promised will come to pass. Trusting the process means surrendering control. It means believing that even when things are not happening on her schedule, God is still in control. It means letting go of frustration, impatience, and doubt, and choosing to rest in His plan. Too often, people try to force things to happen before their time, only to end up with regret. A blessing received too soon can lead to heartbreak. A door pushed open in human strength can lead to unnecessary struggle. But when she waits on God, everything falls into place at the right time. There is beauty in divine timing. When she waits on God, He aligns everything perfectly. He brings the right people, the right opportunities, and the right circumstances together in ways she never could have arranged on her own. And when it finally happens, she will realize that the wait was worth it. She will see that the delays were not denials, but divine protection. She will understand that every moment of waiting was shaping her into the woman who could handle the blessings that were coming. Patience is a test of faith. It reveals whether she truly trusts God's plan or only trusts Him when things go her way. If she believes that He is good, she must also believe that His timing is good. If she believes that He has a plan for her life, she must also trust that His timing is part of that plan. She cannot claim to have faith and yet be frustrated when things do not happen on her schedule. Real faith says, even when I do not see it, I believe. Even when I do not understand, I trust. Even when it takes longer than I expected, I know God is still working. One day she will look back and thank God for the seasons of waiting. She will see that what she thought was a delay was actually a setup, that what she thought was silence was actually God preparing something greater. And when the promise finally arrives, she will know without a doubt that it came at the perfect time, exactly the way God intended.